Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue à notre chaîne YouTube qui s'appelle GS Global Institute. C'est le 18e épisode du Français à notre chaîne et aujourd'hui on va faire le pluriel des noms. Est-ce que vous êtes prêts? Good morning to all. Welcome to our YouTube channel that is GS Global Institute. This is the 18th episode at our channel and today we are going to do plurals of the nouns. Are you ready? But before starting, if you are new to this channel and have not subscribed to our channel yet, please press subscribe button and do not forget to press bell icon in order to get further notifications from our channel. Okay, so let's get started for today. So students, number one is adding s. So what is there in the French? When we are changing the things from singular to plural, there are different rules for each of the section. That is, somewhere an extra s gets added, somewhere there isn't any change, and many more to come. So number one is adding an s. Okay, so side by side I am going to tell you the vocabulary words, that is the meaning of each word that I am going to consider to make them plural. Okay, number one is le garçon. Le garçon. So this is G-A-R-C and a small inverted C below the C, that is it produces a sound like S. Okay, so it is le garçon, which means boy. Okay, so les garçons means boys. Okay, so what happened here is this le gets converted into les, which is this is the basically the, that is les articles. We have done this topic before. I can mention the link in the description box. You can just go and check that video of this les articles topic. Okay, so this is the here and an extra s gets added to the garçon, which is the boy become boys. Okay, next is la fille. La fille. So this la fille is basically girl. Okay, so this girl has a plural which is girls, and this la gets converted into les and an extra s gets added to fille and it becomes fille. That is, the pronunciation remains the same but an extra s gets added over to the fille. Okay, so this is girls. Okay, next is l'homme. L'homme. So what is l'homme? L'homme means men. Okay, man basically, and les hommes means men. Okay, that is man in plural sense. Okay, so what we have done here is l'homme. We have written l'homme. So what is the difference here? What is the thing that I want you to notice over here is that this H is not being pronounced here. Okay, so the next alphabet is O and O is a vowel and accordingly L apostrophe is used, which is the same that I explained in the topic les articles. Okay, so this is l'homme and when we make it in plural this becomes les hommes. Les hommes. That is, this L apostrophe gets changed to les and this om, with this om an extra s is added and the pronunciation also changes. So here the vowel is there and here it is s. Okay, so accordingly this gets connected and it forms the sound like les hommes. Les hommes. Okay, next is un cahier. Un cahier, which means a notebook. Okay, and when we convert it into the plural sense, this un becomes they. Okay, and cahier becomes cahier, that is, the pronunciation remains the same but an extra s is added over here. Okay, next is une fleur. Une fleur, which is flower. Okay, and this une gets changed to they while changing it to plural, and with the fleur an extra s is added. Okay, so for your convenience I am going to write here les hommes means men, un cahier means notebook, des fleurs means flowers. Okay, so let's get moved to the next part, that is plural with no change. There are certain nouns that do not change according to the singular and plural. What are they? Let's have a discussion over them. Number one is l'abuse. L'abuse. Usually these are the nouns that end by s, x and z. Okay, for example, number one example is l'abuse, which is the same as that in English, that means bus, but the pronunciation is different. It is l'abuse. Okay, and with the plural it becomes l'abuse. L'abuse. So this le gets converted into le and buse remains the same. There isn't any change. Okay, so how will you now identify that this has become plural and it is not the singular? So the only identification here is that with the les articles. Okay, so that is why I pointed out in that video that les articles are very important towards the grammar. Next is le prix, which becomes les prix. Next is le nez, which becomes les nez. That is in all of the given combinations, that is this le, all these le gets converted to le over here. Okay, le fils, that gets converted into les fils. La croix with les croix. La souris with les souris. That is only this les articles is getting converted into les. Okay, and the previous thing gets as it is. Okay, so this nez is basically nose, fils is son, croix is cross that Christians wear in their neck. Next is les souris, which is the mouse. Okay, so this les souris is basically the mouse, which are in plural. Okay, now let's get moved to the next part, which is plural with aux. So what happened with the things which end with al and ail? So this al and ail gets converted to aux. We will have a look that how they get converted. So number one is le journal. Le journal. So what is this le journal? Le journal is basically the newspaper, and this al gets converted to aux when they are changed to the plural, and this le gets converted to le. So these are newspapers. Okay, next is l'animal. L'animal. So this is animal. Okay, this is one animal, and when it gets converted into plural it becomes les animaux. Les animaux. That is this al changes to aux and this l apostrophe changes to le, and this is as expected, this is animals. Okay, next is le travail. Le travail, and according to the rule this ail would get converted into aux. Okay, and what is the meaning of this travail? That means work, and les travaux is with the plural. Okay, so this is work. Okay, next is le vitrel, which is window, and it becomes les vitraux when it gets changed to the plural. Okay, window. Next is exceptions of the plural with ending al and ail. Here we did the nouns that end with al and ail and they get converted into aux, but here are some exceptions to these, which are as follows. Number one is bal, which means dance. Okay, and it gets converted into bal. That is, here this al does not changes to aux and it remains the same with an extra s with it. Okay, next is a carnival. It becomes de carnival with an s, and this al does not gets converted into aux. Next is festival, that is festival, this festival does not get converted into festivo, it becomes de festival, okay, with an extra s. Next is a recital. This is re with an accent aigu, cital, which means poem. Okay, a recital becomes de recital with an extra s. So what you can notice from all these words is that an extra s is getting added to all these words, and this al thing is not getting converted into aux. That what happened before. Okay, so now we are moving towards the next part, which is nouns ending with au, eu and ou. Okay, so these nouns basically gets converted to their respective, that is aux, eux and aux. Okay, so let's have a look on the nouns that get into the plural sense over here. Number one is le gâteau. Le gâteau. So what is this gâteau? That is the cake. So for the plural it becomes cakes. Okay, so it has a spelling like GA chapeau above A TEAU, and with the endings carrying AU, the plural becomes AUX. This le gets converted into le, and this becomes les gâteaux. That is, the pronunciation for the singular and the plural remains the same, but the spellings gets converted, they gets changed. Okay, so this is le gâteau and it becomes les gâteaux. Okay, next is l'eau, which is water. Okay, and an extra x is added to what we have over here. Okay, next is le neveu, which is nephew. Next is le bijou. This le gets converted to le, and this ou gets converted to aux, and this becomes les bijoux. And what is bijou? Bijou is a piece of jewelry. Okay, so the pronunciation is le bijou, les bijoux. Okay, next is le bateau. Here it becomes les bateaux. So the pronunciation for bateau remains the same. The difference lies is this le gets converted to le, that is, the change in les articles is observed, and an extra x is added over here. This au becomes aux over here, and the pronunciation remains the same for the two. So what is le bateau? That is boat, and for plural it become boats. Okay, next is l'oiseau. So what is l'oiseau? L'oiseau is bird. Okay, so the spellings are oiseau. Okay, so this is bird, and for the plural it becomes les oiseaux. That is, with this au with an ending here, for the plural the ending becomes aux. This l apostrophe changed to les, that is les, and this au gets converted to aux. The pronunciation remains the same for the two, that is l'oiseau and it is les oiseaux. Okay, the only thing changes is this aux and les articles. This is bird. Okay, for plural it is birds. Okay, next is le joujou. This is jou, and for plural it becomes les joujou. That is, this ou converts to aux, and les articles change from le to les. Okay, and this is basically toy. For plural it becomes toys. Okay, so this was nouns ending with ou, au, eu, and they change to respectively aux,eux and aux. So now we are going to move towards the last part, that is the plurals with some exceptions. Okay, so let's have a look on them. Number one is a clue, that is male. Okay, and respectively this have the conversion to the plural, and this becomes they and s is added. So what is the exception here is that previously we did that the nouns ending with ou will get changed to aux when changed from singular to plural, but this is the not case here. This is an exception for ou case, okay, and it becomes they clue with an extra s over here. Okay, next is a coup, okay. So what is coup? That is neck. Okay, and it respectively becomes they coup with an extra s. Okay, and similarly, as I mentioned earlier, that this ou does not change to aux. Okay, next is a nu. So what is this up nu? That is wheel. Okay, and it becomes depnu. Okay, next is through, which is whole. Okay, and the plural of this is they through with an extra s. So what is the pronunciation? It is they through. Okay, and the next is mur blur, that is the wall, basically the blue wall. This is the color over here. Okay, and this is the wall. Okay, mur is wall and mur blur is blue wall. Okay, so the plural for this is this becomes they, mur becomes plural with an extra s over here, and this blur becomes blur with an extra s over here. Okay, so these were the exceptions to the plural things. So now we are going to have a quick revision on all the plurals we have done. Number 1 is le garçon, that becomes les garçons. Next is la fille, that becomes les filles. L'homme become les hommes. Un cahier become des cahiers. Une fleur become des fleurs. And for the plurals with no change is le bus becomes les bus. Le prix becomes les prix. Le nez, les nez. Le fils, that becomes les fils. La croix, that is a cross, it becomes les croix. Next is la souris, that is a mouse. Okay, and it becomes les souris. Okay, next is plural with al and ail ending, that gets changed to aux. So the number 1 is journal, le journal, it becomes les journal. L'animal, and it becomes les animaux. Le travail, it becomes les travaux. Le vitrail, it becomes les vitraux. So what are the respective meanings? Le journal is newspaper, l'animal is animal, le travail is work, le vitrail is window. Next is exceptions to the plurals with ending al and ail. Number 1 is un bal, and it becomes des bal, which is the dance. Okay, un carnaval becomes des carnaval, that is the carnivals that happen. Next is un festival, which becomes des festival. Un recital, which becomes des recital. Festival is festival and recital is poem. Next is nouns ending with au, eu and ou, which gets basically changed to aux, eux and aux. Number 1 is le gâteau, it becomes les gâteaux. L'eau with an x. Le neveu, it becomes les neveux with an extra x over here. Next is le bijou, it becomes les bijoux, and next becomes le bateau, which becomes the les bateaux over here, which is actually the boat. Next is l'oiseau, which becomes les oiseaux, that is birds. Le joujou, which is the toy, it becomes les joujoux with an extra x. Next is un clou, which is male, which becomes des clous with s. Un cou, which becomes des coups, which means the neck. Un nous, which is wheel, and it becomes des nous. Un trou, which becomes des trous, which means the hole. A mur bleu, that becomes des mur bleu, which means the blue wall. Okay, So this was all about le pluriel de nom. And students, one thing I want to add on here is that GS Global Institute is located in Jagraon, Punjab, and we deal in with various services such as PR file application, study visa, IELTS exam preparation, SAP formation, and many more. And if you have any query related to the immigration process, or you want any kind of support from us, just feel free to contact us. I will mention all the details of our institute in the description box, so you can contact us and visit our office when you require to. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you liked it, please press like button, and if you have still not subscribed our channel yet, please press subscribe button, press bell icon too to get further notifications from our channel. Thank you so much.